We are now going to have an in-depth look at self-discipline and the trader's psychology, and how this will play such a critical part to your trading success. In previous lectures, I mentioned that a lack of self-discipline was the number one reason why traders failed to make money, and it is the single biggest factor that leads to a trader losing money. When it comes to trading the stock market, there is a very big gap between thinking that something will happen in the market and the reality of that thing actually happening. This is called the psychological gap, and this can make trading one of the most difficult endeavors you could choose to undertake, and certainly one of the most mysterious to master. However, it is also one of the most lucrative and most fulfilling experiences to conquer at the same time. Anyone can put on a trade and claim to be a trader, but when you compare the characteristics of a successful trader with the characteristics of most other traders, you will find that they are as different as night and day. On any given day, week, or month, the stock market makes available a large amount of money for anyone who has the ability to put on a trade. Since the markets are in constant motion, this money is constantly flowing, which makes the possibilities for success greatly magnified and seemingly within our grasp. I use the word seemingly intentionally because there is a big difference between the two groups of traders I'm going to discuss next. The first group is a group of people or a group of traders that I call the disciplined traders. This group is for traders who have learned how to be consistent, disciplined, and follow all the rules of their trading system without hesitation. And the money is not only within their grasp, they can virtually take it from the market at will. Money seems to always flow into the accounts of these traders with such ease and little effort, and it literally boggles the minds of most people. These traders are level 4 traders in the trader's evolution that we spoke about at the beginning of this course. The second group of traders are the undisciplined traders. Traders who fall into this group are traders who have not evolved to the level 4 of the trader's evolution. They break their trading rules, hesitate when they are trading, and they overcomplicate their trading. The word seemingly here means exactly what it implies. It seems as if the consistency or ultimate success they desire is within their grasp, but just before they can grab hold of it, it slips away and evaporates before their very eyes, time and time again. The only thing about trading that is consistent with this group of traders is emotional pain and frustration. I can state without a doubt that there is a specific reason why the best traders around the world constantly outperform everyone else. If it had to be distilled down to one thing, it would be this: the best traders think differently to everyone else. The defining characteristics that separate the consistent winners from everyone else is that the winners have a specific mindset and a set of unique attitudes that allow them to remain disciplined, focused, and above all, confident in their ability to trade whether they have a winning trade or not. As a result, they are no longer susceptible to the common fears and trading errors that plague everyone else. To my knowledge, there is no trade that has a guaranteed outcome, because no one has the ability to look into the future and predict exactly what will happen, and therefore the possibility of being wrong is always present, which means that there is always a risk of losing money every single time we put on a trade. The question you need to ask yourself is this: do most traders really believe that they are taking a risk when they put on a trade? Have they fully accepted that the trade has no guaranteed outcome and has no guarantee of being a winning trade? And furthermore, have they fully accepted the possible consequences for that trade? To refer it back to our risk management section, are traders comfortable with the fact that there is a possibility that they can lose 1% of their portfolio every time they put on a trade? And have they fully accepted that risk? The best traders can put on a trade without the slightest bit of hesitation, and just as easily and without hesitation admit that it is not working and exit the trade, no questions asked. Because the best traders have learned to accept that risk when they are trading, and they also never risk too much of their portfolio per trade. In other words, They are following the rules of their trading system every single time, and they never think when they are trading. They just trade and they follow their rules. Now, don't get me wrong here. This is no easy task to accomplish, and it requires an actual change in mindset when you are trading, because it is a natural feeling as humans to not want to be wrong. And on top of that, losing money freaks us out completely, and we will do whatever it takes to avoid that loss or to avoid being wrong. Having said that, trading presents us with a fundamental paradox. How do we remain disciplined, focused, and confident in the face of constant uncertainty? As humans, we constantly crave certainty. Without certainty, we feel lost. We feel scared, unsecured, and our minds always run to the worst case scenario, and we create so much fear within our heads that it blocks our ability to trade correctly. It all goes back to two key instructions I gave you at the beginning of this course. Number one, never ever break the rules of your trading system. And number two, you need to build a trust and a confidence in the Motrentum trading system and in your ability to trade in order to ensure that you are able to trade without hesitation and doubt. Remember, you are your greatest obstacle when it comes to trading, and you alone will be the single biggest factor in the success or the failure of your trading. We also need to remember that we have absolutely no control over how the stock market will move, but we definitely have control over ourselves and control over how we will react to the stock market as it moves. The market is completely neutral in the sense that it moves and generates information only about itself. The market does not have the ability to hurt you and cause you discomfort or emotional pain. The market is only generating information about itself and nothing else. The emotional pain and discomfort we experience when trading can only come from how we as traders decide how to interpret that information and how we decide to react to that information. The market's movements and information provides us with opportunities to enter and exit the market. But that is it. The market does not have any power over us, and it has no power over the unique way in which each of us perceive and interpret that information. We ultimately are the ones who take that information, decide where the possible opportunities are to make money. We are the ones that then make the decision and take the action to open a trade in the market, and we are also the only ones who can take that decision and make a decision as to when we want to exit that trade. The market does not and will not ever do any of these steps for you. As mentioned, the cold hard reality of trading is that every trade has an uncertain outcome. All of us are born into some sort of social environment. A social environment or a society, whether it's a family, city, culture, or country. And within these social environments, there is a structure and there are rules we need to abide by when we are present within these environments. When it comes to trading the stock market, there are no such rules and boundaries that limit us. There is no one telling you when to buy, when to sell, how much to buy, what to do. The market is like a stream that is in constant motion. It doesn't start, stop, or wait for anyone. Even when the markets are closed, prices are still in constant motion because there is always a stock market open somewhere in the world that is trading. There is no rule that the opening price on any day must be exactly the same as the closing price the day before. Nothing we do in society properly prepares us to function effectively in such a boundaryless environment. In trading, prices are in constant motion. Nothing begins until you decide it should. It lasts as long as you want it to last, and it doesn't end until you want it to be over. Trading has no formal ending. The market will not take you out of a trade unless you have the appropriate mental structure to end a trade in a manner that is always in your best interest. You can and you will become a passive loser if you stand by and do nothing. This means that once you're in a losing trade, you don't have to do anything to keep on losing. You don't even have to watch the markets. You can just ignore the situation and the market will take everything you own and more. In trading, no one except yourself is going to force you to decide in advance what you are going to do and whether you are going to follow your trading rules correctly or not. In fact, what we have is a limitless environment where virtually anything can happen at any moment, and only the consistent winners who follow their rules and never go against their trading system will make money. In order to become a successful money-making trader, you will need to make some mental adjustments. The kind of adjustments I'm talking about have to do with creating an internal mental structure that provides you with the greatest degree of balance between the freedom to do anything you want in your trading and the potential that exists to cause yourself some serious financial and psychological damage that can be a direct result of that freedom. We need to make a specific set of rules and instructions so that we always act in our own best interests. This structure has to exist within each of us because, unlike society, the market does not provide it. This is exactly why at the beginning of this course I started drumming into your head and got you to make a commitment to never ever break the rules of your trading system. What we were doing here is we were starting to create this internal mental structure so that when you got to the end of the course, you had the structure in place and you knew that you had to stick to your rules every single time. This is also the reason why we have rules and why we follow a specific set of steps when we are trading. It gives us the necessary structure and confidence to trade correctly. This is a very fundamental conflict that all traders will experience. The very reason that we are attracted to trading in the first place is the unlimited freedom to do what we want and when we want to do it. And it is the same reason we feel a natural resistance to creating and sticking to the kinds of rules and boundaries we need in order to guide our behavior and ensure that we are able to consistently make money trading stocks. To some degree, all of us have learned or developed ways to make our external environment conform to how we want things to be. And if we sometimes don't get our way, we become very upset. The problem is that none of these techniques work with the market. The market does not respond to control and manipulation. Successful traders have learned that it is essential to have discipline and follow their trading rules no matter what, and be consistent in their trading in order to make money. As a trader, we need to take complete responsibility for our trading and our actions, and guard ourselves against blaming the market when we have a losing trade. Winning is extremely dangerous if we haven't learned how to monitor and control ourselves. Most novice traders respond to the market like this. They experience a few winning trades in a row, which makes them feel like they are untouchable, and that feeling is what sustains the winning streak. But eventually, they will experience a loss, and being wrong regardless of how positive they are feeling will send them into a state of emotional pain. They will feel like the market has done this to them, and that the market has caused them this pain that they are experiencing. Notice how the trader is blaming the markets for the losing trade. Notice how natural it is to feel this way. We always need to take responsibility for our trading, and we cannot blame the markets for any of our losing trades. I'm going to tell you right now, when trading, you are going to have losing trades. That is absolutely certain. As to how much you're willing to lose is entirely up to you. If you're following all the rules I gave you, and you're using your 1% risk management rule, then you have nothing to worry about. Because if you have a losing trade, then you are only risking 1% of your portfolio, and there is nothing to worry about. Accepting the risk means accepting the consequences of your trades without emotional discomfort or fear. This means that you must learn how to think about trading and your relationship with the markets in such a way that the possibility of being wrong, losing, missing out, or leaving money on the table doesn't cause you emotional discomfort or panic. The typical trader wants the market to fulfill their expectations, hopes, and dreams. Society may work this way, but the markets certainly don't. In society, we can expect other people to behave in a reasonable and responsible way. When they don't, and if we suffer as a result, society makes remedies to fix this and makes us whole again. The market, on the other hand, has no responsibility to give us anything or do anything that would benefit us. The market owes us nothing. Taking responsibility means acknowledging and accepting at our deepest part of our identity that we are completely responsible for the success of our trading or the failure as a trader. If your goal is to trade like a professional and be a consistent winner, then you must start with the premise that the solutions are in your mind and not in the market. With this perspective, you will not be trying to get anything from the market or to avoid anything either. Rather, you will let the market unfold and you will make yourself available to take advantage of whatever situation you define as an opportunity. When you make yourself available to take advantage of an opportunity, you don't impose any limitations or expectations on the market's behavior. You are satisfied to let the market do whatever it is going to do. However, in the process of doing something, the market will create certain conditions you define and perceive as opportunities. You act on those opportunities to the best of your ability, but your state of mind is not dependent upon or affected by the market's behavior. Throughout this entire lecture, you will notice that I made consistency a function of probabilities. I have been telling you to remain disciplined and consistent in your trading and to follow the rules each and every time, even though the outcome of your trades are uncertain and you have no idea whether the trade will be a winner or a loser. It sounds like a contradiction. How can someone produce consistent profits and results from an event that has an uncertain outcome? To answer this question, all we have to do is refer back to the example I used in a previous lecture and look to the gambling industry. Remember how I said that the casinos are able to make consistent profits year after year because they manage their risk and they play games where they have an edge over the player and have a higher probability of winning. We used blackjack as an example. Remember, in blackjack the casino has got a 4.5% edge over the player, which means that in the long run and over a large sample of hands played, for every $100 million played on the blackjack tables, the casino is guaranteed to make $4.5 million because of their edge over the players at the blackjack table. The casino also has no idea what hands in blackjack they are going to win and which hands they are going to lose. All they know is that as long as they participate in every single hand played at the table, they will always have a 4.5% higher chance of winning over the player, and in the long run, they will make a profit. It is exactly the same in trading the stock market. You have no idea whether the next trade will be a winner or a loser. All you know is that the Motrentum trading system has a winning edge over the stock market, and over a large enough sample of trades, the Motrentum trading system will prove to be profitable. But in order for this to work, you need to participate in every single trade the system signals you to enter, and you need to execute those trades with absolute discipline, with no hesitation, following all the rules of the system each and every time. If you break the rules, you will break this consistency and you will break the system. Money management here is also extremely important in order to ensure that you are able to remain in the market for long enough and trade the necessary number of trades to give your edge a chance. Traders who have learned to think in probabilities are confident in their overall success because they commit themselves to taking every single trade that signals. They don't attempt to pick and choose the trading signals. In the next lecture, we are going to take this to a whole new level, and we're going to discuss exactly how we measure ourselves and how we make sure we never break our trading rules and trading system. This will also allow us to build the confidence and the consistency and the trust in our trading system, which will result in us becoming successful money-making traders.